The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, a very warm welcome to the VAR show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue the theme of interviews and we have a very special guest with us. We have the Managing Director of La Liga of India, Mr. Jose Antonio Cachaza. So without wasting much time, I would like to thank Jose for coming on the show. Welcome and thank you again once again for coming on the show. It's a very big honor to have a guest like you on our show, and I would like to begin the podcast by asking how are you and what are you doing during this pandemic period?
Well, thank you for having me here. I think it is always a pleasure to bring La Liga close to the Indian and Nepalese fans. No, I think you are in Nepal, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like Nepal. I was once there, and I hope I can go back really soon. Um, Well, this is a kind of strange times for I think for all of us who are undergoing confinement. I am locked down in Madrid with my family and working most of the time. No, I mean the magic of these times is that we can be connected with our mobiles and our laptops. Just having an internet connection allows you to work. So I think I think we all can talk about two stages on what we are doing. No, at first it was a kind of time of confusion. Say it was a situation that nobody could expect, so we didn't really know how to cope. I mean, we always having clear that in La Liga that our objective was to try to do what we do, which is to finish the competition. No, once this was going to be clear, we start working hard to how to come back to competition. And La Liga teams all around the world, as is our case. No, as you know, I am based out of Delhi, and I hope I'll be back in Delhi as soon as possible. Basically, as soon as restrictions are to international travel are lifted. So we are working hard in all our territories how to communicate that the return of the competition and to get the competition closer to the fans. That in the subcontinent we have a good advantage, which is our matches are all for free through Facebook. So I think that will help us to get closer to our fans. But that's what we are doing. Working hard in return to come back to competition and bring it to our fans. That's our job now.
So, let's move on to a lighter topic, football. So I have seen and probably most of our listeners and would have seen a lot of the Spanish teams have come back to training. So when is La Liga coming back?
Well, we cannot say no. I mean, of course, we have our plans. We were during this time you were asking me before. We work out 5 or 6 different calendars, so we were just planning on different situations. So our hopes are to come back around mid-June. Surely in the month of June, but of course that will depend on the evolution of the pandemic in Spain. That's going better, and we can only say a date once we have a green light from the government.
Okay, so now I'll talk since you look after the La Liga brand in India. So you have a lot of competitions, like you said, you go free on Facebook most of your matches, and but you have huge players like Premier League, which has such a big brand. How difficult is it like competing with them, or maybe something that is just coming up like an ISL? Is it difficult for La Liga?
Well, competing is always difficult, and especially when you want to be the best, it's not easy. And I mean, as you say, the Premier League is there, and we are fighting with them for being the best, and we are fighting for being the best also with Bundesliga, with the French league, with the Italian league. I mean, we are the big European leagues right now are ahead, and then you have the newcomers who are investing. No, I mean, they are far away, like the Chinese league, the J League in Japan, or Major League Soccer in the US. but I think we are at the top, and that's good. How difficult is to compete with the Premier? I mean, depends how you look at it. I mean, on the pitch, for the last 10 years, we have been consistently ahead of them. Not just in numbers of international trophies won by our teams, but also according to the FIFA table of best leagues. No, is that enough for us? No, we need to. When you had to be the best, you had to fight every day, and you had to compete, and you had to respect your rivals. No, the good thing of this is that it's a friendly rivalry. We have from an institutional standpoint, we have a great relationship with Premier League, and basically what we want at this time. I mean, we can say that according to FIFA classification, we are ahead of them on the pitch, but clearly. Economically, we are behind. So they are making more money out of the rights in different areas of the world, especially in Asia, because they have been working this for many, many years ahead of us. And we know that. And our job is to try to better them and to catch up all the time that we weren't in the market.
So, like most of the leagues or clubs, you can say, are targeting Asia and specifically Southeast Asia because of the huge amount of fans and maybe just population of it. As part of La Liga, what initiatives or steps are you taking to cater to the fans,
Well, first, the first thing to cater to the fans is you need to understand the market. You need to understand the fans. You understand. You need to understand the reality of different countries, and of course, you need to establish what are your key markets. No, I mean, we have a global product, but we cannot work with the same level of involvement at any country. So the first step La Liga has done, which is quite unique in the world of football, is to establish offices and send delegates to different countries. So in the case of Asia, we have working offices from Dubai to China, and also in Delhi and Singapore. And then we have delegates in a number of countries. I don't know, from Korea to Malaysia to Thailand. So that's the first, to have a direct touch with the market. And then what we do is basically you need to look at it in two different ways. I mean, of course, the direct connection, the first connection we have with our fans is our broadcasters, is where they can watch La Liga matches. Second is through digital. I mean, the relevance of digital connection with the fans is growing every day. So we are being quite aggressive on this. Right now, we are the most followed football league in the world in social media, and this allows us to have a two-way connection with our fans. And third, in the main markets, is to do on-ground activities for our fans, like public viewings, competitions, you name it.
So, like, since I'm from Nepal, what plans do you have for Nepal? Like, I don't see much of a presence of La Liga in Nepal. So, do you have any plans?
Well, you are right. You cannot see that much because we haven't done that much yet. No, I mean, as I said, I was in Nepal, I think 2 years ago, just 4 days on a tourist visit. I was basically only in Kathmandu. I love to visit Kathmandu. I love history. I love all your 3 Durbar squares. I love your stupas. And I sense that there's a love of football. While in India, you see people, boys playing, young kids playing cricket all around. In Kathmandu, I saw young kids playing football all around. So that was beautiful for me to see. We are based in Delhi, and from Delhi we manage the whole subcontinent. And of course our focus is India, which is the biggest market, but we are looking also to do stuff in other countries. I mean, direct connection with the fans, as I said, in other countries like Bangladesh and Nepal. The numbers, the figures that we have from Nepal of following social media and also of audience of our matches through Facebook are really good, So I cannot tell you when or what, but definitely we are looking at doing something that gets us closer to the Nepalese fans.
So maybe like Premier League has this program where they fly in legends of the league and have screening once in a while. Like even I think City had their trophy parade, not parade as per se, but they had like the trophies flying in for the fans to see. Can we see something similar with La Liga?
Yeah, well, when I say that we are planning that, we do that in India. We have done that. We have a number of legends coming around. So definitely, whenever we decide to do something in Nepal, will imply most likely to bring a legend and to bring the trophy for the people, so being able to take pictures on that, and surely some kind of public screening of a match. No, the thing is, I think until the next year we cannot even think of doing any kind of screen nowhere in the world. No, COVID will set different ways of looking at things. No, and this thing that it's really connatural to football. No, that bringing fans together around a match, either at the stadium or even in a bar. We need to wait a few months until that's back.
Maybe you can have them come over to my show. Maybe that will bring you closer to the people. You can have some La Liga legends.
That's a good option too.
Okay, like there was a discussion I think last year at one point that you'll have one of the games outside La Liga, outside of Spain, one La Liga game outside of Spain, and it was I think in US or somewhere. Do you have any plans like it can be in India or something?
Well, the first thing, we need to be allowed to play an official match outside of Spain. No, that's the first point. As you know, if you have been following us, is not being easy. In the world of football has a strong world institution, so we need to have approvals from different institutions, no, from FIFA to the national associations to the Continental Confederation, and this is not being easy. I mean, if you follow what our chairman, Mr. Teba, says, we'll keep working for that because we think it's good for our competition and good for bringing the signing of La Liga closer to the fans all over the world. So first, we need to be allowed to do that, and then we need the second step will be to find markets that can host this a match of this kind.
So I'll talk about one player quite famous. Maybe you might know him, Cristiano Ronaldo. So he's quite famous in this part of the world too. And like when he left La Liga to go to Serie A, how much did it affect the brand? Because like he brings so much viewership.
Well, I can tell you that after Cristiano left, La Liga audience keep growing. So this means that this affects us? No. In terms of image, affects you to lose a player? Well, yes, but also it affected back in the day when Di Stefano went, when Mark Cruyff went, when Maradona went, when Zidane went. So of course, it won't be the best when Cristiano is no longer and Messi will be no longer. This is the nature of football. Players come and go, clubs stay, and that's important. That we have probably what are the two biggest football clubs in the world, and Atletico getting close to those. I don't need to name them. And also this what you mentioned about Cristiano is another of the uniqueness of La Liga. I mention all these names on a purpose. If you realize, most of the biggest stars ever in football, most of those who had an international career ended playing in Spain and not in other leagues. No other big league can boast all these barrage of big names. Probably of the top absolute top names in football, all of them except Pelé and maybe Beckenbauer have played for La Liga at a time, and these two never play out of the country. So I understand in Asia there's a huge following to the star ahead of the clubs. but I think that's changing, and fans are discovering that the real excitement of football is around following a club. Of course, we all have our favorite stars, even some of we can love players who play for a team that we don't support. But the real challenge of football is having your team or your national team even to win.
So I just wanted to know about this topic. Okay, tell us something about the consumer engagement of La Liga in this part, Southeast Asia.
What do you want to know?
Like just what are the numbers like? Do you see an improvement, or what is it like?
No, as I said, we are seeing a year improvement in our following. No, I mean, we don't publish broadcast figures, but they're been growing for the last 2 years. And also, what we do publish is our social media figures. No, and in part because of the involvement we have in digital and the promotion and how heavy we are betting on digital. If you take the whole subcontinent, we have around 10 million followers. No, I don't remember the figures of Nepal, sorry, but it's more than 4 million in India and almost close in 3.5 million or so in Bangladesh. I think Nepal was around 1 million followers or so. It's a much smaller country, but the penetration is really good. So we can say that in the subcontinent, we have the 10% of the following worldwide in social media. So we have 100 million worldwide, about, it's a little bit over, and 10% of that is in the subcontinent. So, and this has been growing. No, 4 years ago in India we have only 300,000 followers. We have more than 10 times more. So that's good news for us. No, we know that there's a crave for football in all Asia. I am more focused in the subcontinent, and that audience for us is growing, and the interest, the engagement in social media is growing too.
So okay, I'll move to something more lighter about you and your personal self. Okay, so which club do you support?
Well, I support a club which is in third division right now, which is Racing de Ferrol, which is has never even played in first division in La Liga. Second division, yes, many years, but it's my hometown club, so I'll play safe this.
Okay.
But it's true, it's the only one I am a real, I having a small stake. I think one out of a million stakes, I have one, something like that.
So you have been in the presence of many superstars and very strong personalities. Have you ever been awestruck, or have you ever had a fanboy moment when you met someone?
Well, you realize that mostly we deal with former players who are still with our legends, they are stars, and the first thing that comes to your mind is how normal they can be. You know, it's really glad to be them, having a tea or having lunch, just talking football, and then being professional and doing whatever we have to do. How they are always ready to work. For example, with Guys Comendieta in Mumbai, when we decided on the run to do a visit and a small training day with Slam Boys, he was all game. No, so they are stars. They can still be living out of the image, but once you get to the real person, you can find really sweet and even humble guys.
So now I'm going to ask you a very controversial question. You need to think and answer, Jose. Whom do you prefer, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
I think they are they gave us one of the biggest competition in team in team sports ever. No, when I think back, I only can find something similar that was in the late 1980s in NBA, when there was Jordan, Magic versus Bird. There's nothing else similar. I mean, today I had to say Messi. I mean, Cristiano is no longer for La Liga.
So
Before
he
they were
played
at the
very
same
safe.
level.
Yeah, so maybe your viewership might go down because Cristiano fans might not watch now.
No, I mean, controversy brings fans, so that's always good. Some controversy is good, but as La Liga, we cannot create controversy. I mean, if we were having a beer in a bar, then my answer will be probably different.
Okay. So on that note, Jose, thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish your La Liga brand grows much more bigger, and more. You have a sustainable success, and hope you will come to Nepal also. And hope maybe your
Yeah,
first
no, no,
trip,
no. I
maybe
mean,
you have
thank you,
legends
thank you,
come over to
so
my show. Thank you so much
thank you
for
for
talking to
Subhashis,
me.
and yes, what I want to tell to the Nepalese fans is that really it's true. Nepal is in our sights, and we hope we can be there with you really soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.